And now it is time for chapter 14, Badger Has Doubts. So I want to think about that word doubts for a moment. You might ask, what does that mean? So a doubt is something when you're not really sure about something. So Badger is not feeling so sure about this whole situation. Is it safe or is it not? And that idea of a doubt means it's not so positive. So maybe he's thinking something dangerous could come out of this. Let's see. Just one more visit, cried Mr. Fox, and I'll bet I know where that'll be, said the only small fox now left. He was the smallest fox of them all. Where? Asked Badger. Well, said the smallest fox, we've been to Bogus and we've been to Bunce, but we haven't been to Bean. It must be Bean. You are right, said Mr. Fox, but what you don't know is which part of Bean's place we are about to visit. Which? They both said together.
Aha, said Mr. Fox. Just you wait and see. They were digging as they talked. The tunnel was going forward fast. Suddenly, Badger said, "Doesn't this worry you just a tiny bit, Foxy?" "Worry me?" said Mr. Fox. "What?" "All this stealing." Mr. Fox stopped digging and stared at Badger as though he had gone completely dotty. "My dear old furry Trump Frump," he said, "do you know anyone in the whole world who wouldn't swipe a few chickens if his children were starving to death?" There was a short silence while Badger thought deeply about this.
You are far too respectable, said Mr. Fox. There's nothing wrong with being respectable, Badger said. Look, said Mr. Fox, Bogus and Bunce and Bean are out to hurt us, seriously hurt us. You realize that? I hope. I do, Foxy, but I do indeed, said the gentle Badger, but we're not going to stoop to their level. We don't want to hurt them. I should hope not indeed, said Badger.
We wouldn't dream of it, said Mr. Fox. We shall simply take a little food here and there to keep us and our families alive, right? I suppose we'll have to, said Badger. If they want to be horrible, let them, said Mr. Fox. We down here are decent, peace-loving people. Badger laid his head on one side and smiled at Mr. Fox. Foxy, he said, I love you.
Thank you, said Mr. Fox. And now let's get on with the digging. 5 minutes later, Badger's front paws hit against something flat and hard. What on earth is this? He said. It looks like a solid stone wall. He and Mr. Fox scraped away the soil. It was a wall, but it was built of bricks, not stones. The wall was right in front of them, blocking their way.
Now, who in the world would build a wall under the ground? Asked Badger. Very simple, said Mr. Fox. It's the wall of an underground room. And if I am not mistaken, it is exactly what I'm looking for.
And that concludes chapter 14. Friends, this would be a great chapter to look at for character traits. We really get a lot about Badger and Mr. Fox and how they're very different from each other here. So take a few moments to think about what makes them so different. What do they do that allows you to come up with a word to describe them as, well, they're not people, as characters. So are they nice? Are they mean? Or is it a word that's a little bit more descriptive than that? We talked about that. All right, that concludes 14. Bye, everyone.